we go. We're in.
Oh, we're in.
Right. Well, we've had a few issues trying to get that back live again, but a little bit underwhelming from us, and a little bit underwhelming as a game, Rich, I'd say, from that.
Yeah, it's been
first half.
I think all the things that we kind of said we felt Bordeaux need to do correctly to stand a chance, it's been the complete opposite. Like, the tactical kicking game's been nowhere. The line out has malfunctioned. Discipline's been
very nearly kind of
typified at the end there.
Very nearly kind of terminal, that, to be honest. Like, you think if that doesn't get knocked on, doesn't get held up, that's game over, isn't it? 27,
so.
29-3.
I think so.
They've not had any ball. They've not done, we say the tactical kicking hasn't been great. They've barely had enough ball to be able to do any kicking with. We saw one nice break from Deporter on the outside. Yeah. They kind of very nearly led to a yellow, which we think would have been harsh. But then the first one for Tatafi was harsh. Not that I don't think that made a huge difference.
No, I don't think it did. I don't think they scored until he came back on by the try in that phase. So but I mean, look, like Toulouse have been at it, haven't they? Like, the speed of ball around the ruck is kind of night and day compared to, and I think the pressure that the Pont is exerting through that, the number of penalties for offside, not being behind the back foot at the defensive ruck for Bordeaux, it's caused them loads of problems. Willis has been phenomenal, both sides of the ball.
Him and Malvaca have made a lot of carries, kind of. They've been everywhere, but they've been making so many yards in those carries. Yeah. They've probably been the difference, because Bordeaux just haven't had that around the fringes, really. They've had kind of the odd flash of Tatafu,
isn't he? But otherwise, it's been pretty one-sided. I mean, the highlight is probably Peno's clear out on Ramos.
Thomas Ramos,
He's absolutely splattered him. But I mean, it's felt incredibly one-sided. They haven't really hasn't been as much as a chance, really, has there, for Bordeaux?
Yeah, I mean, the first time they were in the 22 was in the first minute, and they've not really been back there since.
No.
How do Bordeaux turn it around?
Well, they've got to do something. They've got to find a way to get quicker ruck balls, so they can, I think, start testing the edges. Every time they've had ball in hand and they've looked to go wide, it's felt static. It's felt like the Toulouse defence has just waited for an error and swallowed them up. I think you would think in order to do that, they're going to have to get the likes of Tatafu, Lamotte again, who's kind of threatened in bits. Coleman again, like, they're going to have to start punching some proper holes. In order to enable that, because there's just not enough pressure on the Toulouse defence at the moment. I think they're I think had the Malvaca try at the end stood, I think it probably would have been the scoreline probably a more accurate reflection of the state of the game. It's been about as one-sided a half in a final as I think I can remember, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Anything else they can?
They've got to just play some phases. I mean, they have looked a little bit panicky or rudderless, I think was the word you said earlier on in the half.
Jalabert has not looked at the races.
No. I mean, Luca's tried his best. I don't know whether in this situation, whether you just try and get a bit of territory and try and just not play it all in your own half, or do you keep the ball and say, well, we've not had any ball, we need to keep the ball. Any subs? I can't. Tamifuna has been busy, but made a few errors and kind of got in the wrong way, got in the wrong place quite a few times. It's just.
I mean, who have they got? Who do you think is going to change it up off the bench for them? Might be. We say we like Boschiton, don't we?
Bit of grunt, bit of physicality, bit of energy.
Yeah.
Diaby's tried hard. I mean, they could bring off one of the back row, and then they can obviously bring them back on later. But yeah, it's an uphill battle for Bordeaux. Fingers crossed for an early score from Bordeaux. See a little bit of ball in hand for them. Hopefully they can change it around. But we're about to get back underway. We'll see you at full time. Who knows what will happen? Can Bordeaux turn it around? This is the top 14. Remember, anything could happen. See you on the other side. Time for Cage.
Oh.